Hey dear fashion bosses, how are you doing today? So in today's class, we are learning how to make this beautiful trending sleeve with a finger ring loop. Man, you don't want to know. So we are going to put a twist to it. It's a two-in-one class. We are going to learn how to make the also trendy ruched or gathers or pleated sleeve, okay? But it's also going to have the loop for the finger ring, the middle finger ring. Okay, hope you understand. So the sleeve is going to be ruched, pleated, or gathered. So if this is what you like to learn, please stay to the end of this class. Excuse me. So I have my paper folding it into two because we are going to make it a whole sleeve. You know, it has to be full, okay, for us to achieve the gathered parts of it, okay, the ruche. So I divide my sleeve armhole into two, and then I impute it, and then I come down by 4 inches for my sleeve depth, okay, and then I mark that. So I'm coming down now to measure my biceps area, which is between the number of 7 and 8 inches. My elbow area I'm marking now. You know, the 3/4 length of my sleeve I'm marking now. And then the entire length of the sleeve, which is around your wrist area. This is what I'm marking now. Okay. So after doing that, I'm going to connect this the dashes I made with a straight row. Okay, that's what I'm doing now. So if this is your first time on this channel, we're so welcome for stopping by. Please tap on the bell to get subscribe, the bell also to get notified each time we drop a new video. So the next thing I'm doing now is connecting my sleeve from the shoulder to the um cap height area. Okay, after doing that, I'm dividing my biceps area by 2, imputing it with 1 inch seam allowance. My elbow divided by 2, my elbow circumference, impute it with 1 inch seam allowance. Okay, then the wrist I did the same to the wrist. Okay, and then I'm going to connect all of my measurements. So I measure around about my armhole to get the exact point and not have too much excess. So I have the exact point I'm going to connect right about now. So I bring out my pants curve ruler to help me do the connection. Basically, guys, I'm not supposed to show this part because it's just a basic sleeve. But for the benefit of those who don't know how to draft a basic sleeve is the reason why I'm doing this, okay? I'm just supposed to come up with my sleeve pattern and then we go straight to the business. So if you are a returning subscriber, please do well. Thank you so very much for stopping by. Always stopping by. We love and appreciate you. Please kindly like this video, share, and give a thumbs up. So from the length of the sleeve area, and I'm going to come down by 4. So from this part, I want to achieve that finger ring and part. So from your wrist to about your middle finger is measuring about 4 inches. So from the wrist right now, okay, which is the length of the sleeve, I'll measure 4 inches. 4 inches, and then I'll come in by 0.5, and then I'm going to connect with a bit of slanty curve to thus extra 4 inches extra we just made. So I'm using my pants curve so I get a bit of a bit of curve, you know, and not really straight. So I connected this to the 4 inches area. So this is to give us that extra we need, you know, around our back and then the finger ring area. Okay, this is what makes you have that finger ring effect on your sleeve. Please take note of it. So I'm going right away now to cut out the pattern. Okay, so this is how to draft a sleeve pattern. If you do not require that finger ring design, just minus that 4 inches. Okay, and then the remaining part to your wrist is your proper sleeve. But if you want the finger ring effect, you should add this 4 inch. If you don't want the finger ring effect, okay, you don't have to add that extra 4 inches. And then I have it in 2 places. Okay, so the next thing for us to do is to get our 2 nets, okay, our mesh or whatsoever fabric you are using for it. So this is the tool I'm using for it. I'm going to drape this 2 nets on the sleeve pattern. Okay, I'm going to drape, or I'm going to gather it, or I'm going to pleat it, whichever one you find easy, please do. So I'm just going to pleat it this way and then stitch on it. I'm going to stitch on the center line. See, the center line of the pattern is very, very obvious. Yes, stitch on the center line first before any other thing. Okay, so let's go straight to the sewing machine to do this. Okay, so here we are on a sewing machine. You can see the sleeve pattern. So remember I said this tutorial is 2-in-1 tutorial. We are achieving the sleeve with a finger ring effect. 1. 2. We are also achieving a sleeve that is ruched, draped, or gathered. Okay, so if you don't want the finger ring effect, you don't have to add your 4 inches. Okay, if you don't also want to drape it, the ruched it, this pleating effect we are doing, you don't also have to pleat it. Okay, you just if you want the finger ring effect, you just carry your pattern paper and cut it on the fabric you want to use for the sleeve. You don't have to pleat on it like we are doing right now. Hope you understand. After drafting your pattern, you just use the pattern to cut out on the fabric you are using to achieve your sleeve. That is if you want the finger ring effect. Now, if you want this draped sleeve and you don't want the finger ring effect, please don't add the 4 inches that we added, lastly. Just measure to the length of your sleeve, either your wrist or your elbow, wherever you want the sleeve to get to, and then you start pleating or draping on it this way like I am doing right now. Okay, remember to first of all sew on the center line of your pattern, as you can see me do. Okay, you first of all sew on the pattern. You see I'm following that center line on the pattern. That is what I'm doing. Okay, so you first of all do that. So my fabric got finished, and at this point I needed to add to my net. Okay, so I just continue pleating, and then I'll pleat down to the end of the pattern paper. Hope you can relate with what I am doing. It's not difficult at all, guys. Just follow the process and the steps I'm giving to you, and then you will get it. So if you're using a fabric that you want to line, all you need to do is to line it the normal way we usually line our what do you call it, outfits or dresses when we are sewing. Nothing more, nothing difficult about it. You can actually line it if you want to line. Okay, so after sewing on that middle part, I'm going to come to the sides of the pattern paper. Okay, and continue sewing. Okay, arranging my pleats, all my drapes. Okay, and sewing it down to the pattern paper, just like you can see me do right now. Okay, I just follow the drape or the pleats or the gathers that we've already achieved when sewing on the middle line of the paper. Okay, so I just arrange it properly and then I stitch on it. That is what I'm doing right here. Okay, it's not difficult at all, guys. Please kindly like, share, subscribe if you've watched to this point of the video. Hey you guys, please encourage us by subscribing, sharing, giving a thumbs up. Okay, it doesn't cost you so much. It's just a tap on the icons in front of you. Please do that right away. Thank you so very much as you do. Okay, God bless you. So I just continue sewing down my piece this way, like you can see me do. Okay, trimming off the fabric that is already excess for me. Peradventure, you are looking for what measurement to use. So when I got to this corner, you can see I have to turn. Okay, I turned it. I have to lift up my footer, and then I turned it so that I can sew on that slanted part. So if you don't want the finger ring effect, it means you don't require this point. You just sew to the length of your sleeve, and then you turn to the other side of the sleeve and continue sewing on it, guys. Hope you understand this. I want to believe you do. All right, guys, so I have to turn to the other side again and then continue sewing. Okay, so basically this is how to go about ruching your sleeve. Is a trendy one right now. The twist is just that we are adding the finger ring effect to it, which makes it a two-in-one tutorial, guys. Okay, so you just continue sewing, arranging your pleats properly so it looks fine, well coordinated, at the end of the day. And then you continue with what you are doing already. All right. Okay, so have you liked, have you shared, have you subscribed? Please kindly do, kindly do, kindly do. Please kindly do, okay? So you can see me, I am arranging my plate. You see how beautiful it's looking already? Arranging my plates and then stitching on it, okay? Please don't pull or drag when you are doing this. Just follow the process, okay? Let it flow. You have already arranged your sleeve in motion already. I mean your plate. You just follow it, okay? Don't drag, don't pull, okay? Just follow it. Allow it to flow freely as you stitch on it. So I've turned to the shoulder part of the sleeve, as you can see, and then I continue stitching, okay, to hold everything down for me in place on the paper, because we are going to tear off the paper and then have our sleeve to ourselves. So at this point, I'm done sewing and stitching. I'm just going to cut out the excess fabrics, okay? That's what I'm doing. Just cutting out the excess fabrics, okay? After cutting out the excess fabric, we are going to tear off the paper, all right? So we are still cutting out the excess fabric. Okay, so we are done cutting out the excess fabric. So we are going to carefully tear off the paper. So you do this with a lot of care, so you don't rip off your tool net, okay? The tool is very soft. The moment the thread we use in stitching it breaks, you may have to start all over again. So you carefully do this, okay? As you can see, I'm doing this with a lot of care so we don't rip off our net sleeve. You take your time to do it. You take your time to do it. Don't have to do it in a hurry, otherwise you will just destroy the entire process. So I'll just take off the remaining residue, okay? So you see what our sleeve look like. Is looking very beautiful, very fluffy and nice. I'll take my time to take off, you know, whatsoever piece that is left, but let's continue for the benefit of this class, okay? So this is our sleeve, guys. This is what it looks like. It is looking very fine here. You see the finger ring area is looking very fine. So at this point, guys, power was interrupted. I have to come to my manual sewing machine. You know what it is with power in this part of the world, guys. It is where you can bank on them. But thank God for alternative. So right about now, this point where I'm showing you right now is the 4 inches that we slanted to the tip, okay? So I'm just using my pencil to mark it very well because we will need this tool to turn it. So you can use a bias, you can use any other fabric to do the turning, but I just want to use a tool net so that it blends very well into the sleeve, okay? Being that is the tool net I use for the sleeve. So I just cut out 1 inch of tool nets, cut it out in bias form, and then I'm going to use it to turn the edge of that 4 inches part where I showed you earlier, okay? I'm just going to do just the same way we use bias to turn things, you know. That is what I'm doing here, guys. So I just use the tool net to turn that 4 inches part, okay? So that it looks very neat and well tidied. So I sew down to the tip and then I turn to the other side, okay? And then I continue sewing. I get to where my 4 inches started. I'm going to stop, okay? So I've gotten to where my 4 inches started. I'm cutting off my thread and then I'll double fold it inwardly. Just the same way we sew bias. We use bias to tidy up edges. That is what I'm doing here. The difference is that I'm not using a bias. I'm using the tool net as my bias, okay? I double fold it this way. You can see me do that. And then I neatly sew, okay? I sew to the tip. I turn to the other side and then I sew. So we're almost done with this class. So remember I said if you don't want this finger ring area, you don't have to get to this point. You just stop at the point where your wrist or the length of your sleeve ends, okay? Tear off the paper, your sleeve is ready. You take it straight up and fix on your garments, okay? But if you want the finger parts, you do all of this, okay? Hope you understand. So this is what we have, guys. We are done tidying the edges up. So right next to fix our loop, I have this loop, this string I made it using the same tool net. So I just folded my tool net in double fold like this, and then I stitch on it. Okay, that's how I got this loop. So I fold it into two like this. I'm using 4 inches for the loop, okay? So I fold it into two like this, and then I'm going to stitch it on the middle, the exact point where your center stitching is, okay? I fold it properly and then I stitch it. I just want everything to sync. I don't want different fabric. You use the bias now. The shade of the fuchsia pink will be different from the shade of this fuchsia pink that we have. That's why I'm using the two names for everything so that everything is properly synced, okay? So I haven't stitched it. You can see I just trim off the excess on the inner side, and then guys, this project is set and ready. So I'm going to put it on my finger now so you see what it looks like. Okay, so guys, if this video has been beneficial to you, you've learned anything from it, please do well to subscribe.